Alex, amazing stuff going into Pulsechain. Like, this is unheralded, right? I mean, obviously, Richard's about, fork Ethereum with, the biggest airdrop of all time. But the fact that there's so many amazing products about to launch onto this new chain is simply unheralded, right? Like, this is like uncharted territory.
I would say it's unprecedented, in my opinion. Yes. Yeah, it's amazing, and I'm really excited about it. And this past few months has just been the most amazing thing, hasn't it? Like, we're all so fortunate to be here. Everybody that stuck through with it and kept their head on their shoulders, looked through all the noise. This is the time when we all get to really sit back and enjoy ourselves a bit. It's coming. I'm pretty confident of, unless Richard really just decides to rip our hearts out and say, "Oh, actually, it's not going to work," right? But I feel like he now is acting quite confident, right? Which tells me he's got reason to believe that this is gonna work this time.
This is good.
Yeah, looking at a vista of gains, basically. One where we can basically all sit on a mountain looking at the valley in front of us, which is a huge ecosystem with the Nile and all the builders creating the pyramids, and just think about all the fucking money that's going to flow into this place over the next couple thousand years. Like, it's a bit like that.
Apparently, when the Egyptian temples were being built, they weren't just like rocks, which is what we see them as now. They were like shiny. It was like the shining obelisks of future. That's what we've got in front of us.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I think we're in a really good spot, guys. So congrats, everybody.
So in order for people to buy new coins, right, in Pulsechain, people have been only saying, well, you're gonna bridge in your coins, your ETH or your USDC or your DAI or whatever coin they've been like talking about for the last 7 months, right? And they say, I'll bridge it into Pulsechain. But I've never really heard until like I brought it up and started being vocal about it. Well, like the possibility of someone buying a Pulsechain because someone bridged it from Pulsechain to Ethereum and created a wrapped version of it. And then someone paired that to a massive liquidity pair. And then giving not only price discovery, but you could have that with HAG, PLS HAG, Pulse, and other coins. But
yeah, okay. So I think I kind of already addressed this actually when I said earlier, but I think you and I just approach things from a different angle. I tend to come top down. I think you tend to come bottom up. But I think I'm kind of coming to the same conclusion, which is I think the value will be on Ethereum, and I think the gains will be on Pulsechain, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when that means when you do what you're talking about, they're obviously going to be connected, right? But there's going to be absurd amounts of money to make speculating on those pairs, pushing them towards some sort of equilibrium, right? And that's going to happen on Pulsechain, right? But I do believe that they will be connected in various ways. But it's also very hard to give everybody go buy this pair type of advice, especially right now. But yeah, I do think there's going to be huge opportunities. There's going to be huge opportunities for arbitrage as well, which is something I'm preparing for.
So so with thinking about that, do you realize that because I've been trying to push that idea, plus what comes hand in hand with that is that the copies are even more valuable due to the fact that if you could just take your cash and possibly buy it enough. Because do you think at the beginning people are going to get a good deal through the bridge from Ethereum side, or they're going to get wrecked?
It depends when it launches, right? Like, let's see. I mean, the further we go into the bull market, the less good the deal is going to be. I would imagine if we launch, in about a depression, you're going to do pretty well with stable coins on the side, right? So yeah, I don't know. If Pulsechain had launched in the past year, the right call would have been to hold money back and buy on launch. But if we delay it, it's actually less likely to be the case. So we'll see.
Also, you're excited to see what's going to happen when the withdrawals open.
If we'd launched in, let's say December, I would imagine we'd be really down, most likely. And I'm actually a little bit disappointed we haven't launched for that reason, because I was really hoping to buy at a big discount. Well, I mean, I kind of think the purpose of the fixer bot, in my opinion, is to create a commanding heights position for the OA. The OA obviously already has a commanding heights position in terms of the Pulse. He's going to he's going to also have a commanding odds position with the PRC20s.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's gonna basically hold the significant portion of them, right? So it's basically a way of giving yourself, this massive commanding position. Which I mean, that's why I've always seen. So in a sense, it's like does the liquidity matter that much? No, not really, because like you're already a 97% holder of the pulse, right? So what you do is you basically just give yourself. So if anybody tries to push one of those PRC20s too far, you have the ability to basically rape them and suck all that value back, which is useful, right? You basically get to direct traffic, right? So you just have to wait for those moments when people are literally just abandoning value and just throwing it out the window, and that's when you go and you pick it up, right? So I think in general it's a good idea to wait until you see that. And the thing is, that's happening almost all the time somewhere, right? There's almost always somewhere where they're throwing away value. So, and obviously there's moments where they're throwing away lots of value.
They have to eventually come around because it's all proven. It's not that Richard has proven anything other than he created Hex with the devs, of course. But the blockchain doesn't lie. I mean, Hex does what Hex does, and Richard being the leader of it, so to speak, I think they're just envious of him that he's so freaking successful, and they just can't handle it. I mean, look at Banklash HQ started crying on stream. What the fuck? That's too stupid. I mean, people are realizing that Richard has not been lying at all. They just see the truth come out again and again and again and again and again, and they're like, oh shit. And like you said, now they're trying to hop on the bandwagon to see if they can get some crumbs up. Most of them didn't sack for Pulse or Pulsex, so yeah, they're going to be left behind. Yeah, but that's what they're thinking. Yeah, I didn't sack for Pulsechain. Oh, I'm going to be late. Ooh.
Doing good. They can miss out on all the X's just like they did with the Hex.
I remember I was working with
Try more.
and I came up to these guys HQ in Eindhoven, and I was like, guys, do you know about Pulsechain? And they all started laughing like, Pulsechain, it's a fucking scammer. Richard Hart, he's a scammer. 3 months ago, hey bro, Fedor, how's this Pulsechain coming along? Because we're hearing some great things about it. Do you think we can still start Bistro on Pulsechain? I'm like, bro, I don't work with you anymore, but you should check out some updates maybe. Maybe read yourself in. You're so cool, Devi. You didn't want to hear my advice back then. Actually, they kicked me out of the team for shilling Pulsechain to them. So yeah.
Buy the rumor, sell the news.
There's I'm not sure what chains you've been investigating, but be glad to tell you what's happening when Pulsechain launches.
Like
you're trying to, like, I'm not sure if you're doing much on Ethereum, because of cost, but like anything that you hold that's an ERC token or any NFTs will be, you'll receive a duplicate on Pulsechain, so you'll have something to work with. And then just consider that ecosystem as well, just if you're looking forward.
Yeah, I would love that, man. I appreciate that so much too. And I just wanted to say I am terribly excited for Pulsechain and Pulsex, and very thankful to the Hex and to the recent Texan communities. Everything that those projects are built around, and Richard Hart, what he has laid the groundwork for is very compelling, and it definitely awakens a spirit inside of me that is full of hope.